1. A natural gas vent in Iraq known as the Eternal Fire or Baba Gurgur has been burning continuously for over 4,000 years, and is mentioned by Herodotus, Plutarch, and in the Old Testament's Book of Daniel. 2. Only 20% of diamonds are used for jewelry, 80% are used for industrial purposes, drill parts, etc. 3. Carl Sagan was not a great father to one of his kids. One of his sons talks about how absent a father he was. This comes from reading Carl Sagan, A Life by K. Davidson. Also according to the book, Sagan was a disloyal friend, a cynical careerist, a security risk, an abusive husband, a scientist who eschewed experiment, an educator who avoided students, a goofy pothead. 4. The reason for the aliens in Indiana Jones 4 was George Lucas. Spielberg didn't want aliens or interdimensional beings. 5. In 1911, the Morton Salt Company began adding magnesium carbonate to their product, which stopped the salt from caking during damp or humid temperatures. Hence their tagline, "When it rains, it pours." 6. In 2016, the Australian Mint produced a Han Solo in carbonite 1-ounce silver coin. 7. A nutrition professor lost 27 pounds off of a convenience store diet of Twinkies, Doritos, and sugary cereals in order to prove that weight loss relied on caloric intake, not nutrition. 8. New Jersey is home to more scientists per square mile than anywhere else in the world. 9. In standard tournament chess, White has a significant advantage, winning 53.4% of games recorded from 1851 and 1932. Other estimates have White's win rate as high as 55.47%. 10. In 2005, an innocent man was pinned to the ground by British police and shot 7 times in the head point blank, thinking he was a suicide bomber, and later tried to cover it up. 11. In 2001, an Australian woman stabbed her partner, skinned him and then tried to feed him to his children. 12. John Young, the pilot of Gemini 3, was reprimanded for smuggling a corned beef sandwich onto the spacecraft. A source. 13. The Italian BMT, Subway's most popular sandwich, is named for Brooklyn Manhattan Transit, literally a subway. 13. Manoj Bhargava, the creator of 5-Hour Energy, created the formula in 30 days, has a net worth of $4 billion and plans to donate 99% of his wealth by creating a series of inventions to help third world countries receive basic functions like water, electricity, and health. 14. Guantanamo Bay has a McDonald's, Subway, KFC, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, and a Starbucks. 15. Mark Twain was born on the day when Halley's Comet flew by the Earth. He said, "I came in with Halley's Comet in 1835. It is coming again next year, and I expect to go out with it." Halley's Comet next appeared on April 21, 1910, which is the day Mark Twain died. 16. Melbourne, Australia was originally settled by John Batman, who declared the land Batmania. 17. In Islamic law, a woman has the right to annul her marriage if her husband is away for too long, because her right to intimacy is paramount. 18. Crows in Tokyo often steal wire coat hangers to add to their nests, which cause blackouts when built on power lines. A source. 19. In 1987, a small 93-gram radioactive device was stolen from an abandoned hospital in Brazil. After being passed around, 4 people died. 112,000 people had to be examined and several houses had to be destroyed. It is considered one of the worst nuclear disasters ever. 20. A man named Peter Skalberg was trapped for 2 months in his car after it became bogged down in snow drifts near the town of Umeå in Sweden. He survived on just snow and snacks and went into a state of hibernation. This slowed his metabolism and left him emaciated, barely able to speak or move. 21. In 2015, a 1,000-year-old body of a Buddhist monk was discovered inside an ancient statue of Buddha. 22. All the gold ever mined, collected wouldn't be enough to fill 4 Olympic swimming pools. A source. 23. Shakira's hit single Waka Waka was actually sampled, almost entirely, from a 1986 Cameroonian song Zamini Mina without their permission, and she never gave them credit. 24. Modern peanut butter was invented as a source of protein for people with no teeth. 25. When Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were creating villains for the Marvel comic books, they turned to the Bible. Out of that inspiration came Galactus, God, and Silver Surfer, Satan. 26. There is a 1,200-acre lake that is superheated by a coal-burning power plant. Even in 0-degree temperatures, the water never dips below 50 degrees. 27. In the 1920s, Joseph Stalin sent an animal breeding expert to Africa to mate humans and chimpanzees in an attempt to create the Monkey Man Army. 28. When Neil deGrasse Tyson was director of Hayden Planetarium, he didn't put Pluto in with the rest of the planets and is thus credited with starting the Pluto planetary debate. 29. In China, a building is constructed with embedded wind turbines to provide its own power. 30. Aeschylus, the ancient Greek tragedian, was supposedly prophesied to die from a falling object, and therefore stayed outdoors. He was killed when an eagle dropped a tortoise on him, mistaking his bald head for a rock. 31. It is by pure coincidence that we exist on a planet and in a time when our star is covered exactly during a total eclipse. No other known planet has total eclipses, and at some point in the future, they won't occur on Earth either. 32. Scientists believe that multicellular life only has 800 million years left on Earth, at which point there won't be enough CO2 in the atmosphere for photosynthesis to occur. 33. A German Poe escaped his American prison camp near the end of WEA, and lived in the US for 40 years under a fake name, before finally admitting the fraud on the Today Show. His name was Gay or G.A. Currency Rickner. 34. Cruise ships don't carry bloodstocks on board, but solely rely on passengers and crew members in an emergency. 35. Cuban Army planted an 8-mile cactus curtain around the Guantanamo Bay to prevent Cubans from seeking refuge in the United States. 36. Some species of birds are capable of seeing a fourth primary color, in the ultraviolet spectrum, totally invisible to humans. It allows them to see a totally different fundamental color, and all derivatives obtained by mixing it with the other 3 primary colors. 37. Bill Murray said Kung Fu Hustle, there should have been a day of mourning for American comedy the day that movie came out, because it was the supreme achievement of modern comedy. 38. Suicides nationwide increased by 10% after Robin Williams' death. Researchers found a convincing parallel between the increase and sensationalized coverage, headlines of his death that violated CDC guidelines, focusing on the method of death. 39. Tsar Bomba, the most powerful nuclear weapon ever detonated, was so powerful that it created seismic shocks that were measurable even on their third passage around the Earth. 40. If a male lion is neutered, its mane will fall out. 41. In the lead-up to Midway, the U.S. suspected that a Japanese target called F is Midway. To test this, U.S. Pacific Command instructed Midway to give a signal indicating that they're out of the water. The Japanese immediately signaled that F is out of water. 42. During WW2, 3 bombs hit a single church in Malta, pictured above. 2 of them just bounced off and did not explode. The last one pierced the church roof, landing among a congregation of 300, but did never exploded. 43. Finland ranks 7th in the Good Country Index, a system for assessing how much each country contributes to humanity. It takes into account contributions with regard to science, technology, culture, peace, security, climate and prosperity. 44. Artificial intelligence systems known as robo-farmers could soon grow crops and tend livestock around Britain while their human controllers need never set foot in a field again. 45. Mahatma Gandhi led a non-violent protest known as the Dandi Salt March to protest the salt tax. Gandhi and his followers hiked to the Arabian Sea where they boiled seawater to make their own salt. 46. A polio victim in Tennessee was kept alive in a metal tube for nearly 60 years only to die when a power outage shut her iron lung down in 2008. 47. The earliest born person to be photographed was Conrad Hare. Born in 1749, he crossed the Delaware River with George Washington during the American Revolution. 48. His real name was David Jones. He even recorded his first single Liza Jane under the name Davy Jones. He later changed his name to not be confused with Davy Jones. the lead singer of the Monkees, who was already famous in the United States. 49. In Deep Blue's first game against Garry Kasparov, the computer made a move that puzzled the Grandmaster so much, it made him believe the machine had superior intelligence. It threw Garry off his game, and ultimately cost him the match. The move was the result of a bug in Deep Blue's code. 50. Warren Buffett plays bridge with Bill Gates, and have both pledged $1 million to promote it in schools. 51. In some cases, one or more members of a firing squad were issued a weapon containing a blank cartridge. This was called the conscience round and allowed each member to believe that they did not personally fire the fatal shot. 52. Daisy Outdoor Products was a company that in 1886 sold windmills and gave a complimentary BB guns with every purchase. The BB guns became so popular that they stopped selling windmills and started selling BB guns. 53. Carl Stalling, the composer behind Bugs Bunny, spent 22 years working every day with the 50-piece orchestra at Warner Brothers Studios. He ultimately scored in excess of 600 cartoons at the rate of one score per week between 1936 and 1958. 54. To brace for impact, you should place your head on, or as close as possible to, the surface it is most likely to strike, not between your knees. 55. The 1976 Olympics were a financial disaster for Montreal, as the city faced debts for 30 years after the games had finished. It was only in December 2006 that the Olympic Stadium's costs were finally paid in full. 56. An extinct bird called Rodriguez solitaire had strange knob-like balls on its wings. These balls were used by the bird as a deadly weapon to defend its territory and its mate. There are even reports that it made a sound like thunder. 57. Norm Macdonald was placed 20th in the 2007 World Series of Poker. 58. Your nose is always visible to you. Your mind ignores it through a process called unconscious selective attention. 59. Spiked dog collars were invented in ancient Greece and were originally designed to protect the doga's throat from wolf attacks. 60. In the 70s, an orchestra was formed in England where players had to either be non-musicians or play an unfamiliar instrument.